When they took all of those Africans from Africa and put them all together and stripped them of their cultural markings, they created something new. That's what Black people are.
There are 5 indicators of one's socioeconomic status.
History is not just some random dates and facts in people from the past.
19% of Black families in the U.S. have a negative net worth.
We were birthed into the world in 1865 after a couple hundred years of gestating and developing. And now we're essentially teenagers in terms of the cultural development cycle, trying to figure out who we are in a world that is essentially saying, we don't like you. We don't want you. How would any teenager react to that?
My name is Akwete Tahimba, and I'm the owner of the Pan-African Connection bookstore.
You know, Black bookstores are very different than a general bookstore, right? Because it's the word Black in front of it, like we talk about Black people stuff.
Black America, if we don't get ourselves together, we're going to be relegated to 4th-class citizens in America. So think about the amount of resources that we did not have access to as 2nd-class citizens in America, behind white people.
We can see what the consequences are when children do not know their history. Children do not realize the power of their legacies. They can be manipulated to believe that they are worthless, that they don't have any role in this world. There's all kind of tragic tales within the dynamics of the Black family, and the children are the ones who are truly going to suffer.
Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. I am Joseph Ward, and I have a special video for you today, special interview for you today. We're talking about the upcoming documentary at the Pan-African Connection. And as you can see from the trailer, myself and Patrick are in the documentary. So we definitely thank you to Tony for putting us in the documentary. But after reviewing this documentary, I made the decision that I wanted to bring the creator of the documentary onto our channel so I can, for one, introduce him to you, my audience, and 2, give you all more light on what he's doing and the documentary, because I believe it's a powerful documentary. I believe it's a needed documentary. I believe it's a documentary that will get people to thinking, get people to doing something, because one of the greatest things about the actual documentary is at the end, there is a call to action. But one of the greatest things about this documentary is it's centered around the Pan-African Connection bookstore. I've yet to see a documentary about our people, about our culture, about our struggle and our upliftment and empowerment, but be surrounded by a bookstore that is doing just that, the Pan-African Connection bookstore. So I want you all to pull out your pens, your notepads, get your popcorn, all your little movie snacks that you like. You know how movie snacks get involved. Get all your movie snacks together as I welcome to the On the Shoulders of Giants stage, Mr. Anthony Asota. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, Joe, man? I appreciate that intro, man. I need to have you at all the intros.
Man, you know, I've been working on my intro game over these years, trying to make sure I perfect it, man. Got to bring you up right.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Now, well, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I think I interviewed you around like October of 2023 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I basically, I think I used like my last funds or whatnot to interview Patrick. And then after that, I was editing for a full year. So the whole 2024, I was just editing. And that's really what I've been up to, man. Just trying to complete this and also, take some time to enjoy my life when I'm not doing this.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get into the documentary, give us a little background information about yourself and what brought you to becoming a filmmaker.
My filmmaker name, I go by Anthony Asota, but I'm also known as Tony White for everybody who's been knowing me. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, but I've been gone for the past 11 years or so. I actually spent the past 6.5 years out in Los Angeles, and that's kind of where I would say I cut my teeth on documentary filmmaking. And so I guess what got me into it is I've always been a curious person, and the more I just started to travel, be around other people in their countries, I just started to wonder about a lot of different things, and it kind of led me down to this path of picking this up to like, this is what I want to do. I just want to really give myself to these ideas that come in my head and to life type of feel. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's
Yeah. But and I appreciate that, right? Because you are using your gifts to give back. You're using your gifts that you have to make sure that you can inspire your community. I think that's great. I think that's what we all should do. Whatever gifts or talents you have, use that to give back and inspire the community. But I think it's interesting that as a filmmaker, you decided to not necessarily go I would say the more traditional route that we as the novelists know about filmmaking, or even going to Hollywood, where you just go in and you trying to get on and you want to be a part of the movies and get all the money and just make stuff and still contribute to the content that's already not good for us. But you decided to take this lane. Why did you decide to take because you created your own film, you're an independent filmmaker. Why did you decide to take the independent route versus try to go and be a part of the machine?
Well, I was a part of quote unquote the machine, but it was never in it was so coming from Dallas, then moving to I went to play football out in Colorado, went to school out there. And out there I used to that's where I started kind of just making videos just for memories. I used to love memories. People was like, man, you should really do this and whatnot. And then after a year or so, I was like, wait, I should I got injured and a bunch of other stuff that happened, but I had to really reflect and think about my life. And of course, I was, like I said, I was curious. I always curious about the why of this and why of that. And so I was like, well, if I want to really, really do it, I should probably go out to where the people really, really do it. And so I went out to LA. That's where I started to be a PA and all of these things. And I was able to work as a production assistant and then move up to producer. So I was working on, for sports fans, I was working on shows like Last Chance U, football and basketball. I did America's Sweethearts, the cheerleading documentary with the Cowboys cheerleaders. And I even did some reality TV, Love is Blind. And a lot of people don't believe this, but I even worked with Zeus.
Right.
I've done a lot of different things, but I just, it was all to learn. Like I've always had these things in the back of my head, but it was always to get out there and learn. And then I guess doing them, and as I was moving up, it was getting comfortable, but I just couldn't get these things out of my head, these things that I wanted to do, at least wanted to try to express before I kept doing that. And that's kind of what made me just kind of go cold turkey with it all. Go cold turkey with it all, because you kind of move up, you get in that world, and it's it's you finally are able to widen the gap between surviving and thriving. You know what I mean? It's like all this time trying to survive and get by, and then you get this opportunity to not just survive anymore. You just you widen in that gap, but it was this thing of okay, I'm getting closer to thriving, but I'm about to be thriving at some stuff that I don't really want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just I decided to just make that sacrifice to see if I could thrive at something that I really wanted to do. And
Gotcha.
yeah, it's been a process, but yeah, I guess that's what got me out to answer your question. Sorry, I kind of go on these.
No, you good. You good.
That's what got me to dive all the way into this.
Gotcha. And a hell of a dive it was, because you dove yourself right into a great documentary at the Pan African Connection, and I know you have big plans for your documentary, and that's commendable as well. You're not just making a documentary just to say I made one, but you actually you have plans to go out and push it hard and make sure the masses can see it. So with that being said, at the Pan African Connection, like I said, is the title of the documentary. Why did you make this documentary? Why this documentary? What inspired you to say, you know what, I'm gonna put together this documentary and highlight the Pan African Connection bookstore?
I would say, how can I say this? I would say the confusion and frustration of my ethnic group became too much for me to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I gotta explain. Okay, so I was trying to put it simply, but then I realized I gotta explain that. But so for me and a lot of people that I knew growing up in a lot of similar situations, Black history isn't like directly taught to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you pick up a whiff of it here and there, and you may learn about this here and there, but you don't really know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And with the glossed over version of American history in our schools, it only like muddies the water for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then there's like, but what I mean, you still naturally understand that it's something you should care about, but you still don't know, right?
Right.
And then on top of that, you going through what you're going through, dealing with what you're dealing with, and focused on what you're focused on. For me, that was sports. I was, and I was lucky enough to be able to do that from grade school all the way through college.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when college is wrapping up, you're about to leave college, and you decide you're done playing sports or whatever happened to you for that cutoff. Now these systems that demanded so much of your time and effort, it's no longer there, and
Right.
and you're forced. Well, for me, it was like I was forced to pay more attention to the world. And now I'm seeing these things that are happening socially and politically out in the world, and now I'm frustrated. That confusion, that earlier confusion, is now frustration. Now I'm mad. I'm like, well, why do they view us like this? Why do we act like this? Why does this keep happening, etc.? I'm going through these emotions, and then, but also on top of that, you're stepping into adulthood, and you're thinking about um, your student loans, getting a job, getting a career, whoop de whoop, and but I guess like luckily for me, what I chose to do, um, it allowed that door to stay open, and
Mm-hmm.
so by the time I run across the bookstore, Pan African Connection, I'm looking at it like, well, maybe this is my opportunity to finally dive deep into this, to really know something instead of
Right.
like just caring, but kind of, what I mean, like
Right.
so I think, yeah, that's why I made it to hopefully help that once to help that person who is confused like I
Mm-hmm.
was, to
Got
hopefully give them something that they can look at and have a better understanding of what happened and what is still going on. I guess long story. I mean, long. That's why I made it.
Yeah. You well, so your story is, or your path is similar to a lot of black men, similar to mine as well. I just didn't play in college, but it was football was my whole life.
Mhm.
And then it came to a point where football ain't your whole life no more. And
Yeah.
so you're not only trying to figure yourself out, you're trying to figure out this world around you.
Yeah.
Because I know with us, they kept telling us that we gonna die by the time we turn 21 because we black males. So
Yeah.
we like, what should I think about life after 21? Because you keep telling me I'm gonna die at 21. So should I think about life after 21? And then when you hit 21 and you're thinking about life, like, oh shoot, now what? And you're trying to find yourself, but you also trying to figure yourself out as far as what's going on in this racist world. What is this racism stuff that people keep talking about? I know it's affecting me. Why do I feel like this when the police get behind me? All these different things. I get you.
Yeah, that was that it just really it's overwhelming at the beginning. It's just really overwhelming, and unless you get around, that's why I was so happy when I ran across like your channel.
Right.
To like, that's why I always tell you like thank you and I appreciate y'all, because I really do like you, Pat, and even though I haven't got to meet PC yet, what you call him on the show, Jones, like I'm like I can't wait to meet him as well, because it's like y'all really y'all helped me like not only see but process these things that regarding my ethnic group, like really like process them and think through these things that kind of come to my head, and just like, yeah, I'm appreciative of that, because you're just not gonna, unless you kind of get out there and get with it, it's not something that's just gonna come by you just because you
Right.
Yeah. But
no, I appreciate that. Especially because a lot of this just started with us having conversations because we were frustrated.
Yeah.
And when it's able to spawn into what we have here. So I'm definitely appreciative that you found the channel, you were able to find value in the channel. But it's the same thing with the documentary. That's what I think is necessary. And so for you, if somebody asks you, why is your documentary necessary? How would you answer that?
Someone asked me, why is the documentary necessary? I really believe in storing or implementing, putting like if we want people to care about something long term, they need to learn about who they are when they're young, or they need to be, they need to really know about the history, everything that came before them.
Right.
So I think if we want to, install this pride and all of these things that we like, I hear so much, just being online, you just hear and see so much of people talking about, oh, this is a problem, that is a problem, and I'm just like, well, like, I may not know all of the solutions, but I know we should at least start it at knowing about where we came from, like a proper cultural education. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
Proper cultural education will naturally aid in a lot of other things. So that's why I would say why it's important, because it'll provide at least a first step at a proper cultural education. Hopefully, inspire them to look at other people, see other things, and also to want to be a part of something happening wherever they may be located.
Right. And for the record, where is the Pan African Connection bookstore located?
It's located in Dallas, Texas, in Oak Cliff.
Okay. Oh man. So next time I'm in Dallas, I definitely got to check it out. One of my good brothers live out in Dallas, and we overdue for a trip back out to Dallas. And I'm a big Cowboy fan too. So
big Cowboy fan.
Hey man, They was
Nah,
on TV when I was young. They were always on TV,
nah,
like because there was no Buccaneers. No Buccaneers were around. There were no Jaguars, no Panthers. No, I didn't see Tampa Bay. I didn't see Miami. So I saw Dallas.
yeah,
So
no,
that
no.
was
I'm just messing with you.
nah, yeah,
I'm probably one of the only people from Dallas is not a big old Cowboy fan.
yeah, yeah. Nah, it's funny that people ask me all the time, "How you become a Cowboy fan?" That was on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, but no, the Pan African Connection bookstore. Like I said, when I watched the documentary and seeing you center the documentary around the bookstore, why was it important for you to highlight this bookstore?
It was important for me to highlight them because they started my deep dive. When I ran across them, I couldn't like I don't know, like it was just something like it was. I need to do something here,
Mm-hmm.
and them being who they are and have the history they have in this city and everything they've done for people. I feel like it was my duty to at least try to express something and how much they mean to me in my journey. So it was very important for me to showcase them because they've made a tremendous impact on so many people in this city, and I was just really frustrated because I was like, why didn't I know about this place? Like I grew up here, not even 10 minutes away, never heard about it. Never heard about it. Never wasn't involved with anybody who ever said that they were going to the spot. You know what I mean? Like I'm like that was a big thing for me because I'm all about of course I don't want to give anything away in the film, so I
Mm-hmm.
can't probably say this, but I think it's important to showcase those type of things, and
Right.
I want to try to use my passions, my skills, and things to help do that. But it was that was the big thing. Like, why didn't I know about this place? More people should know about this place, especially
Right.
here.
Right.
So that was a big reason for making
Right.
sure that yeah.
But like one of the gentlemen said in the trailer, Black bookstores are more than just bookstores. Black bookstores are cultural centers. And I think that's one of the things that you were able to highlight best in the documentary is how much the owners and the people who run the bookstore, they pour into the community. So they don't just use the bookstore as just a bookstore. It's a literal cultural center where you can go in and learn from the people at the bookstore about African culture, about Black culture, about Blackness, our history, all those things there.
Yeah, that was so great to me, man. I still remember that first day. It was like I fucking stumbled up. I'm sorry. It was like I
No,
stumbled
you good.
upon,
You good.
like a. I don't even. How would you like? I stumbled upon something that I ain't never seen
You
before.
blew your dang on mind.
Yeah, it was just like what, like this ain't you never like. I'm like this is happening down the road, and you never shown this stuff like this. They having these classes on group finances and
Mhm.
drum circle. Then they having all these you know it just so much was going on that I was just like, wow, this felt real. This felt this feels promising. This feels
Right.
like this feels like if I would have been around this when I was younger, it would have saved me so many, saved me so much confusion, saved me so many self-esteem problems. It would have saved me from all of this stuff because I know more about myself and not just what they're gonna teach us in American
Right.
schools. You're not gonna
Right.
you're not gonna learn that.
Well, in my opinion, because I've actually been having a lot of conversation with a lot of friends that I have who are parents, and their children are attending homeschools, co-ops that are African centered,
Mhm.
and the children are learning, but they're also getting the benefit of information and books and just all type of education that we had no idea existed even into our adulthood. And for one, it's because of the residuals. Now, we had a bookstore here in Tallahassee called the Amon-Ra Bookstore. It no longer exists, but like you, it existed 10 minutes down the road and had no idea until one day you like, oh, for real? And then you go in and all these books and you just overwhelmed by all these books and all this stuff. And just like, I want to read. Can I just sit in the middle of the floor and just read everything like right now? Like what's going on? How come nobody told me? I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, but once again, that's why institutions like that need to exist. We need to support institutions like that. So not just the Pan-African Connection, but all bookstores, all Black bookstores across the country, especially the ones who are pouring into your community. Make sure y'all support the bookstores. You keep what you support. Like my good friend Nicole Everett says, you keep what you support. So one of the, even in the trailer, one of the things that was highlighted is racial healing and transformation. And the documentary does explore those ideas for healing for Black Americans. But for you, as the filmmaker, what is your idea of racial healing for Black America?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like there's so many, I guess, levels to it. But
yeah, it's a broad question now.
Yeah. So ask me that one more time. What is my
like your idea of racial healing? Like what are things that we can do as Black people, or even what do you think America could do to help us heal from the trauma of chattel slavery?
So that thing in the trailer, the racial healing, that was a program here. One of the guys in the documentary as well, named Jerry Hoffman. He was the executive director for it. I believe. So he started inviting me around. I was actually in the cohort to learn about those things. And one of the biggest things I took away from it was narrative change, and that's one thing that I believe is a very important step. I said, like I named you the step of that proper cultural education, but also narrative change. And I say that because through my experience at PAC, through talking with you, learning from y'all, what I'm saying? Like there are things there, but all of the popular mainstream whoop conversations is that nothing good is happening anymore. Everything is going to shit and nobody cares and whatnot, and it's like, I get it. I get what you mean. I get it. I swear I can see it too.
Right.
If you really, look into it, there are people who are doing these things. They just need me, and so that's the healing part, that I look at a lot. This narrative change of like, no, they're everything ain't done. There are people out there, and I need to go be with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel you, because transformation does start with the narrative change. Narrative change starts with the mindset change. But being able to highlight the healers.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're doing. So I agree. There are a shout out to everybody throughout the African diaspora who are actually out doing real things. And you may be overlooked, but that's why your documentary exists, to highlight one of the unsung heroes, because I'm sure the bookstore has been a staple in the Dallas community. And, so for someone like me, who I'm all the way over here in Florida, just hearing you talk about the bookstore and your experiences, but also from what I've seen in the documentary, it reminds me of the bookstore here. Matter of fact, it's a town over, a small town called Quincy, Florida. I remember visiting one of the old museums there that was a Black-owned bookstore one time, and it had kind of like the same feel. But I love the fact that the bookstore is engaging in racial healing and transformation in itself, and teaching people not just about the history and culture, but teaching people real skills, teaching unity, showing unity. It's not just the education, it's the practice of it. And I think all of that goes into it. And I think you did a good job of showing that in the documentary as well.
Appreciate it. I 100% agree. And it didn't hit me right now until you said like showing the healers as well.
Yeah.
Because that is, like I say, man, my mission for my life and my companies, like I believe, we all owe a meaningful contribution to the world, and I want to do it through these arts and stuff, and so I want to help create, or not help create, but be a part of that group of people that are trying to create more valuable community members. And so anytime I see those people, I want to be with them, learn from them, and see how I can add value, because they are adding value, to me and to other people.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I'm sure that's what their mission was, a part of their mission, to go out and make sure they add value to the community. So, but racial upliftment, healing, transformation, all those different things, because we are dealing with the legacy of chattel slavery, but not just the legacy of chattel slavery, but Jim Crow and everything that follows, right? And so, for you, when did you first go into the bookstore?
I first went into the bookstore in 2021, I think August.
Okay, August of 21. It's March of 2025. How do you believe, or what transformation or progress do you see in your thinking, the way you look at Black people, just everything? How much overall progress do you think you've made since being able to go to the bookstore and learn?
I think I've made a huge leap, because that's the thing. Like, I feel like I've always cared, like I've always cared, but I didn't know how. Like, I just didn't know what to do with that, and I know I just didn't want to be just out there making a fuss and not really doing, not really, not really like really trying to get to the real root of things. Just so that was always that was a big frustration, because the immature mind is like, man, y'all tripping? What is all this and that? What are they doing? So I think just growing up mentally, like, I would say, growing up mentally, just having more of an understanding of why so and so may act like so and so does, and where these things are at that I maybe want to be a part of, or what's like, that's why I say I've grown up and not in my narrative, and knowing, and not looking at it and being like, man, I'm gonna just go out and get mine because that was everybody doing like, not looking at it like that, but trying to look at things like, okay, this is what it is, and I can choose to participate in it differently. I think that's that's where I've grown the most in it, if that makes any sense.
Because like I said, it's a mindset change. You see the world different. It's I think Dick Gregory, I think he said it one of the best ways that I've heard. It's like when you put on the magical glasses, and once you put on the magical glasses, you can't take them off and you can't unsee what you've seen. And it's the same thing as taking the red pill in the Matrix. You took the red pill.
Yeah.
And now that you've taken the red pill, you see it. But your red pill was going into the bookstore and being taught by the people in the bookstore, being able to read the books. And so it gave you the truth of the world around us. And when you
kind of went mute.
My bad, my mic went out real quick, but you can hear me.
Last thing I heard was you gave the truth around us. You see the truth around us.
Yeah, but you know, you see the world around. You see the bullshit. You
Yeah.
see, but a part of the magical glasses is showing you the full extent of white supremacy. So you not only see the bullshit from white people, but you see the bullshit from your people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the part that really messes us up. You're like,
Yeah.
dang, we really like this?
Yeah. 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 And the unconscious actions as well, right? Like where, like you unconsciously act away just because you don't even know why, you just act this way. And so it's this I learned this from you when I had the interview with you. You know what I'm saying? You told me about when you come into this information, you kind of want to go out there, you just tell everybody like, hey, I know this now, you should and that causes even more friction.
Yep.
You just you trying to tell somebody that is just floating like that, like they need to stop doing that, and it's just
Right.
like who are you? Like, you went and go learn about this, now you think you this and that, so it's like trying to find this right way to to communicate it, man. And
Yeah.
that's a big thing about like, well, it actually made me nervous to make the doc because it's like, and this can happen in a lot of situations, but when you put your heart out there, right, to whomever you're trying to communicate with, you never know that how that's going to be accepted, depending on how you said it, and also depending on where they are mentally to be able to accept it, or you know what I mean. So it's always this like this I guess push and pull, or this like I don't know. It's just this uncertainty thing, and yeah, it's just it's difficult. But I'll never forget when you said that about the like, yeah, you come across this information and you want to tell people, and then now you fight with people that you actually like love and whatnot. Now they, it's just that was a big thing about seeing us in understanding us and why we may act like we act. Yeah.
Right. Well, one of the great things about the bookstore, right, is the bookstore can serve as a guide to those who want to know more, who are curious, whose light switches come on.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes our light switch come on and we don't have anybody around us to truly help us and guide us. And so we like, especially nowadays, like, because when my light switch came on, this was like 2001, 2002, no social media.
Yeah. Oof.
You got to either read the books, and you have to know where to know the books and know where to get it from. You have to know people who know about it. You have to, we had reasoning circles where we would get together and share VHS and DVDs of Bobby Hemmett and Dr. Clark and Dr. Sabi and all the different scholars and stuff that are floating through YouTube now. But before YouTube, it was getting a hold of these DVDs, getting a hold of these VHSs, and when people get together in these circles, and if that wasn't happening, but let's say you're getting together in these circles and everybody's new. So everybody's just bouncing off the wall and there's nobody to direct everybody. So now when we leaving out, we like, everybody must know this. All black people must know this. Yeah. And then you find yourself 3 a.m. arguing with your homeboy loud. Y'all is shouting at each other. Like, what the hell is going on here? But that's why institutions like Pan-African Connection Bookstore need to exist to help guide us on our journey as we learn this information.
Yeah. I 100% agree, and it gives those people, who are known more, became more knowledge. It gives them a place to be as well. To do what the people in the books. It's like I can't give this away either, but like one of the people in the doc, that's why they were in it. Show that, to show this aspect. If you know what you can do, and why places like that need you, and it all works together.
Yes, but also because it showcased also the connection with the children, because like you, me, a bunch of other Black people, even Black children now, like it's amazing. They walk around with these in their pocket and still have no idea about our history. But that's, once again, go back to no guidance, right? And so institutions like the like the Pan-African Connection. So let's say in this scenario, Black kids around the USA are able to learn in places like the Pan-African Connection around the country. What type of impact do you think that would have on pushing the culture forward and changing the psyche of our children for them when they become adults?
I think it has a great impact. I mean, I think it would have a great impact, right? If you put in these places types of situations earlier on, those are like core memories, and they really, it's like I still remember being at the Boys and Girls Club as a youngster, and it's like I can only imagine the Boys and Girls Club in that version. What if it's like it would only amplify more, and you naturally, like no one has to push these things on you. You're naturally going to learn about these things and want to be a part of it and know about it because it's your environment, and that's what I hope to get out, this natural thing, so you don't have to be arguing with 15 and 25-year-old what's his name because they don't understand. It's like that is what I would hope to be, to push people more towards those things earlier on, so that it's just a part of how they operate in a way. I hope that makes sense. But yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question? I'm sorry. That was.
Yeah, it's you in the ballpark. I get what you're saying. You in the ballpark, because I always use my brother as an example, because that's the greatest one I have, because I saw it happen. So I don't like I do think I'm a highly intelligent person, but I don't think I'm close to being around the smartest person that I know. I know for a fact that my brother had a great academic advantage over me, and he still has it, because I don't remember the name of the school, but he was able to attend an African-centered school when he left preschool. Before going into elementary school, he spent 2 years at an African-centered school. They was pouring real education into him and culture. Now, everybody who I've talked to who's a parent and their children went to either homeschool or part of co-op, they excel academically. Like one of my friends now, his son is 16, about to graduate high school, and his daughter is, I think she just skipped maybe 2-3 grades already. So my brother was ahead of me academically, and he still is, because of that advantage. And of course, I've learned a lot on my own, but being able to be in environments like these, just imagine. All right, well, when I was coming up in school, my main things, like you, sports, football, rap music, the culture around us. I grew up in the hood, so the culture around us. But imagine if that was unity, family, collectiveness, like all the 7 principles of Kwanzaa being practiced on a daily basis. Like we're seeing, instead of seeing crackheads walking down the street, we're seeing families walking down the street. Instead of somebody breaking in your house to take your stuff, people are bringing you things that you need because you're in need. And so in my mind, being able to have institutions like the Pan-African Connection bookstore will help to spur new cultural traits. Like the things that we celebrate now, we wouldn't celebrate. We'll never celebrate all these crazy shows that's on TV or the things, like we wouldn't celebrate them. Not to say they wouldn't happen, but we wouldn't celebrate them the way we celebrate them, because unfortunately, the proximity to whiteness is black people want to be white famous. You know,
it's that gets deep as well, because and this kind of what my next thing will be about, that I've kind of started working on. But that goes into the system, right? That goes into like we there is this dominant culture. There is this capitalistic system that we exist in, and we don't have any. I guess to go back to sports, we don't have any O linemen. You know what I mean? It's just you out here trying to make a play.
you look like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And yeah, the effects of that, is a lot of this stuff. Like what? Okay, they said they gonna push me if I'm talking about raping, killing, smoking, whoop whoop. I gotta get this bag. I gotta.
Right.
It's a very much. This is what happens. It's
right.
And that gets back to the understanding of why these things happen. So I try to get out of it being mad and get out of knowing, getting mad at certain things for happening, and try to look at it as like, I want to win the battle of the not mainstream, but I want to at least add some balance to this fight. Like, yeah, there's this, and that's what I see when I look at, the bookstores, people like you, and it's just like, okay, there's this force that is pushing all of this on us, and people are gonna, after a while, naturally start acting like that.
Yep.
And to support this system that they, like, I don't know how to explain that, but it's yeah, man. I mean, it's right. These are all the symptoms of this bigger problem.
Right.
Yes.
But it's all right. So at what age was you introduced to football?
I'm from Texas, bro. So 5, 6, 7. Well, it's been there, but I aware, conscious of it. 5, 6, 7.
So
yeah.
Texas, Florida, California, Pennsylvania, we footballs, like we eat, sleep, breathe football. We can go outside and play football in the middle of the winter. Like, football is what we do.
Yeah.
Right. And so I know for me, a football was placed in my hands very early. Like, we used to watching football, like everything, because Tallahassee is a college town. FAMU and FSU are here.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up in the 90s, so Florida State football in the 90s was dominant.
Yeah.
FAMU football in the 90s was dominant. Like, you come to Tallahassee, you don't win in either stadium. So that's what I grew up. So of course, it's not on y'all level. You all's high school and you all's overall culture of football is on a whole nother level than us. But nevertheless, it's a part of what we do. But just imagine replacing that with African consciousness.
Yeah.
Instead of placing a football in my hand at an early age, you teach me a skill, and you teach me a specific skill that can help me and help my people.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if I am going to play football, you instill a mindset in me. You instill that spook that set by the door mindset to say, hey, you're going to go get this money and you're going to give back to your community with this money. Because even now, like people want athletes to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't. And and for several different reasons. Different reasons, but like, the main one is, all right, so
yeah,
LeBron James is a billionaire.
Yeah.
So LeBron James starts speaking out. LeBron James start messing up his money.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James don't have the same amount of resources that he has. LeBron James can be way more valuable keeping his mouth closed and feed money to the black community, not telling nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I could drop $10 million in the black community. Don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody. All you know is the community is better.
Yeah.
That's a better asset than an uneducated person speaking about race, because everybody think that they are a racial expert because they black. Like,
Yeah,
it don't work like that.
yeah, that was a big one too. That was a big one. Yeah. Mhm.
You know, so but us staying in our lane though.
Yeah, but I think those, I think so. That last point you made about you know, kind of like equipping these quote unquote athletes and whoop de whoop. Like, so I got a program I'm looking to start in a couple years. But yeah, that's one of the main things. It's like I want to be able to equip the youth with these mental and physical tools to be able um, to grow into these valuable members of the community, but
Yeah.
also thrive in their chosen fields. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you start with this proper cultural education and that they're going to develop into these you know valuable community members, but then he can also be this NBA whoop de whoop super whatever. But
Yep.
now he has a like a foundation. If he's that, he has a, like, let's say like if Brian had like a point man who could talk about race.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody from his neighborhood. Look, he can explain it better than I can. And now
Right.
this person has more of a platform. You know what I'm saying? It's like I
Yeah.
feel like it's not no necessarily like taking people out of these things, but like equipping them early with enough of them, or I don't know, man. I don't want to say too much too early because I'm still like I want to put it into place first so that I can
Yeah.
show it. But it's like that's one of the visions I have, man. But yeah, that's
Right. Well,
just yeah. Go ahead.
well, I mean, but so it'll be, let's say, all right, let's say Emmett Smith decides that he wants to give funding to the Pan African Connection bookstore. Cool. Don't say nothing to nobody. Just give them the money. You keep smiling and grinning in Jerry Jones' face.
Yeah.
And you keep smiling and grinning in all these white people's face. You just keep doing that and keep funneling money to the Pan African Connection and all these other black places. And you, whoever your point dude is, y'all don't even have to talk to each other in public. Who cares? The mission is getting done. All we need is the mission to get done. We need our people to be true soldiers. Who cares what it looks like in the media? Who cares what it look like in the limelight? Who cares the criticism you receive? Because you're not the activist that people want you to be. But when it's all said and done, when we look at your resume, we're gonna see, well, shoot, this man gave this much, this man did this man was able to fund this, all these different things, and look at this grow. Somebody got to water the flowers.
Yeah. That comes down to like to feeling responsible, feeling accountable to these things, and then trying to trying to I guess like come out to people like me and trying to showcase these places so people know that they exist and people know these type of people exist that they can go to, because I do believe there are a lot of people who confuse, care, but don't know how to care. Like you can love something and don't know how to love it for real. Where you mess it up. And then what gets pushed is just go march and protest, whoop whoop, or just go vote. And it's just like because a lot of them throw money to voting and stuff because those people are telling better stories than we are.
Yep.
About our people. They're just give us this. We'll help this problem, that problem, and they want to just get the money. It's easier for them. But yeah. So it just made me think about like how can we continue to increase so these people know we are out there.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, keep doing what you're doing with things like this documentary, because highlighting the Pan African Connection bookstore was historic. It was great. It was what was needed. It was what we're supposed to be doing. You know, scratching each other's back, having each other's back. And I should have said this earlier. What's the name of the owner of the Pan African Connection bookstore, and where exactly is it located in Dallas?
Akwete Tahimba is her name. Let me get the address for you. I don't want to get it wrong. It's
let me Google myself.
Okay. Yeah. Pan African Connection. It is located 4466 South Marsalis Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75216.
Yep. And if you Google it, you see some of the pictures pop up. It's a Nipsey Hussle mural.
Yeah.
Inside the building. And
shopping center.
Like right now, I'm looking at a karate class.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a karate class with the youth. As I'm flipping through the photos, it looks like a lecture. Just some of the things. They're selling clothing, selling art, all types of stuff. It's a cultural center. They have drumming, dancing, African dancing, like all types of stuff is going on at this bookstore. They're selling all type of products. Right, Akwete Tahimba. Make sure y'all go. If you in the Dallas area, go to the Pan African Connection. Once again, 4466 South Marsalis Ave in Dallas. Make sure you go check it out. If you're not in Dallas and you're flying into Dallas anytime soon, well, now you got something to do. Now you got somewhere to be. And thank you to you for highlighting this bookstore. Yeah. But with that being said, though, where can people find your documentary?
So as of now, I want to. As of now, I've been thinking. So my biggest thing, right, is I'm kind of been in question about that, right? Because I could throw it online, I could stream it and say, hey, go look at it, support it. But I kind of want to have like local screenings and showings to be able to,
right?
Like I want to, be able to look people in the face, talk to people, learn from people, and also give another reason for people like us with this mentality to be able to be around each other, be able to connect, talk, and see how we can help each other. So I'm sort of looking at trying to raise funds to be able to have showings of it in different places, and that's really where I'm at right now. And if
so, okay, all right. So we're gonna set it up like this. All right. So my people, anybody who's seeing this, all your eyes, ears, and all your senses. All right. So you want to see this documentary. You do. So because you want to see this documentary, you and the people in your city are going to get together. You all are going to contact Mr. Anthony, and then you're going to contact him about bringing him down to your city and having that showing, because we're talking about collectiveness, the unity, those Nguzo Saba principles, right? And so contact him, set it up, bring them down to your city, have those showings. Now, what's the best place what's the best way that they can get in contact with you?
On my website, asota7.com. Get in contact with me through my email. Also have a landing page for the film. We could attach that, I guess,
all that, the landing page, the email, and the website will be in the description. But as you can see under his name, asota7.com, go check it out. That's where you get more information about the documentary, more information about Anthony himself and everything that he got going on. Because I know you're pushing for these film festivals as well, man. So we're keeping our fingers crossed on all the film festivals so you can be in them and have the best of luck and be able to push this documentary as far as possible.
Yeah, I'm really hoping to get in those. They'll be a great way to, to be able to network with, industry professionals and all these different type of cities, and also bring more awareness to the film. That would be great, man. The big things are, these local things, because I feel like we could bring out, different groups and organizations to be able to come out and, I guess try to get more like a local civic engagement. That's how I see it in my head. And I mean, I just don't want my work to ever be disconnected or just simply transactional. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just go support me. You know, like, and I don't like have to be a part of it or with any. So, yeah, I guess I am taking somewhat of a risk, not just putting it online and
Right.
But it's just I just really want that connection, and I'm just hoping that we can do that.
Hey, black folk, look, we know how to spend money. Let's act like we don't. We know how to spend money. Y'all gave Kamala a whole lot of money, so we know how to spend money, right? But let's use that in a positive and collective way and supporting our brother, supporting his film. Let's really put the energy behind it to make this happen. This is us doing for us. We always talk about it, so let's just do it. Let's just not be the talkers. Let's do it. Let's help push this film. Let's help more people learn about the Pan-African Connection bookstore. Let's help more people who are confused, who don't know where to turn to next. Let's help them get that spark, get that information, so they can go into their local place or even anywhere they go to find the information that they need to learn about themselves, learn about the culture, what's happened to us, where we are, and how do we get to where we're trying to go. So Asota7.com is the website. At the Pan-African Connection is the documentary.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the future is bright, my brother. The future is bright for you. Congratulations for putting this together. I know, like Pat said, we interviewed in late 2023, and you went into hiding for a minute for your editing. But I figured that because I'm like, man, shoot, I know how long it could take to edit some short form stuff. So
yeah,
but then when you hit us back up, and not just hit us back up, you hit us with the trailer, then you hit us with the documentary, and we like, oh shoot. Nah, I'm like, we said, oh shit. He's serious. And not that this documentary is good. Look, I saw the documentary. It's a real good documentary. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, and I am in it. So y'all make sure y'all see it because I'm in it. That's one of the reasons. But I'm not just saying it because myself and Pat is in it. I think you did a great job of putting the documentary together, highlighting the bookstore, but also getting conversation started and getting your point across, and to end it with the way you ended it. I'm not gonna even tell people what you ended it with. That's a cliffhanger. But to end it the way you ended it, I think was great. And I all of my viewers, y'all know I'm not gonna gaslight you. When you get a chance to see this, see it, contact Anthony so you can see the documentary. Asota7.com. Link is in the description. I'm telling you, it'll be worth all of your time and your effort. And it's supporting our own. So let's just continue to do it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And shout out to y'all once again. I mean, everybody, y'all have really, like I told you, impacted, how, I process things. And it's just crazy that I guess 2.5 years ago when I ran across y'all's channel and start, being challenged like that mentally. And then, a year and a half later, I was able to actually like meet y'all, interview y'all, and it took all this time of like, because you get all this footage, and, it was just me, and I got to watch through everything and watch all the interviews and watch through all, and then not only watch through, but process it all. Right. And then like think about it, make something, go back to the drawing board and be like, like really, really sit with it. And, that took me the whole year, but it means a lot to me to be in, community with y'all, to be learning from y'all. And I just, I always want you to know that, man. It's,
I appreciate you. Now, like I said, I appreciate you because, like I say, this stuff just started with us just really shooting the shit.
And that y'all don't BS. Like I only like sent it and all of this because I know I would get a real answer to me before I like went public. And that's I'm like, okay, like, and we know, Pat, he like,
he never hold no punches.
So I that's because I'm like, I can't grow ever if nobody be real with me, and that's what I really want. And so Sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh no, you good. You good. Like I say, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate that because you never really know. We're not trying to do stuff. We're giving our thoughts and our analysis on how we see the world and a lot of stuff that we've learned. And so I appreciate you being able to come across it and learn from it and helping it, that it help inspire you and help you, give you clarity on some of the things. But the shout out to the master teachers, to the Dr. John Henry Clarks, to the Yusuf Ben Yakinins, the Neely Fullers, the Francis Cress Welsons, the France Fanons, the Chancellor Williamses, Bobby Hemmitts, all the people that we learned from. My professors, Dana Denard, Dr. Huberta Jackson Lohman, her husband, Baba Bill Lohman, my like Sam Carter, my dad, like everybody, like especially my pops. Big shout out to my pops for being able to be a foundation in all of this, though, man. So we standing on their shoulders.
Yes, sir.
That's what we here to do.
Well, it's a bunch of people I have in the doc, but two of their books that really helped me with this is, Dr. Joy DeGruy and Todd Anderson.
Yes. Oh yeah, them two of my favorites. Yeah,
is in the doc. Going to Ray, Dr. Joy DeGruy, Claude Anderson. So they really.
Yes.
But
yeah, and scholars that we review on this channel, man. So thank you. Keep that good work up. And if there's any way that we can help you, you already know, man, we got your back and we're gonna be here to help you do whatever you're doing, man. So we appreciate you. Hey, America, get ready. You're about to take it over. And all we got to do is support it, man. Like this video, comment, subscribe, share. Make sure you support all of the supporters. All the links to supporters is in the description. All the information to Anthony is in the description. Make sure you check it out. And I see y'all on the other side.
Took all of those Africans from Africa and put them all together and stripped them of their cultural markings. They created something new. That's what Black people are.
There are 5 indicators of one's socioeconomic status.
History is not just some random dates and facts in people from the past.
19% of Black families in the U.S. have a negative net worth.
We were birthed into the world in 1865 after a couple hundred years of gestating and developing. And now we're essentially teenagers in terms of the cultural development cycle, trying to figure out who we are in a world that is essentially saying, we don't like you. We don't want you. How would any teenager react to that?
My name is Akwete Tahimba, and I'm the owner of the Pan-African Connection bookstore.
Black bookstores are very different than a general bookstore, right? Because it's the word black in front of it, like we talk about Black people stuff.
Black America, if we don't get ourselves together, we're going to be relegated to 4th-class citizens in America. So think about the amount of resources that we did not have access to as 2nd-class citizens in America, behind white people.
We can see what the consequences are when children do not know their history. Children do not realize the power of their legacies. They can be manipulated to believe that they are worthless, that they don't have any role in this world. There's all kind of tragic tales within the dynamics of the Black family, and the children are the ones who are truly going to suffer.